Madman Momo here again. What can I say? I just love you guys too much to not post a video, two of them in one day. So right now I'm going to talk about a movie that I just finished watching about 45 minutes ago called 11-11-11. Now, when I was on Netflix, when I clicked on it, I was thinking of the movie that just came out from the creators of Saw, which was a little far-fetched idea to think that that would already be on Netflix, but a lot of movies, or not a lot, but a few have been doing that recently with jumping straight to Netflix, you know, as soon as they come out to DVD and stuff. I guess Netflix is buying better rights to them since they screwed everyone over a few months ago. But I didn't catch the subtlety that the 11-11-11 that was created by the creators of Saw, Darren Lynn, Boseman, all that, is 11-11-11. This one was 11/11/11. This movie, I mean, I'm not going to say it was the worst movie ever. It wasn't as bad or dumb or as pointless as August Underground, but it was kind of slow. The few scenes that it had in it that would be any level of gore or any sort of murder scene were like the type of stuff that you'd see on a Sci-Fi Channel movie, like a made-for-TV movie. Not exactly the best creation in the world, not exactly the worst. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're just sitting around bored with like absolutely nothing else to watch, just bored out of your skull one day, this would be a good movie to just throw on to kind of kill off the silence in the room. But it's the one thing that I did like about it that was interesting was I've always been fascinated by numerology. So kind of like the movie The Number 23, this movie talked 11-11-11, the one that I'm talking about now, not the one by the creators of Saw, because I haven't seen that one yet to know. Does make its little comments and have its parts about numerology in it, talking about the number 11 and how 10 is God's perfect number because it's 1 and 0, how we're all one with God, and 11 is used by the devil to mock him, which is a little far-fetched. Like, I've never heard that. But then when they started breaking down all of the occurrences of 11, kind of like the number 23, they talk about, you know, the first two planes to hit on 9/11, the first one had 74 passengers, 7 plus 4 is 11, the next one had 65, 6 plus 5 is 11, and they kind of throw a lot of little stuff out like that. And then pretty much it all boils down to this one kid, like the main couple, their kid, they just moved to a new town, is going to have his 11th birthday on 11-11-11, and one book that all the town reads says that the devil's going to return in the form of an 11-year-old boy on 11-11-11. So there's like all these ridiculously nice people, and there's like this crazy old woman, but then it turns out that the old woman was actually like the good-hearted Christian of the situation who was trying to kill the devil before he could like take over and bring about the apocalypse. And all like the nice, helpful people of the town were actually the devil worshippers who participate in like a seance and everything. So that was kind of weird. I mean, it was not weird, but it was like a twist. Like I was waiting for M. Night Shyamalan and Ding Dong to like pull off the old woman mask. It was really him, and they were in a village, and they send the blind girl to go get the cross. I don't know. She's dead, people, the whole time. Bruce Willis is actually dead. So that part of the movie was just kind of like an unnecessary twist that didn't add anything to it, but it kept you a little more intrigued. And then it all boils down to the father of the kid. Like, the kid just, his mom's in the bathtub because she's pregnant. She's pregnant this whole fucking time. And so she, like, gouges her nurse's eyes out because her nurse keeps, like, over-drugging her to keep her on bed rest. And her son's running around screaming and bleeding. Her husband's calling out for her, freaking out. No one knows. And she crawls in the bathtub. And the son, who's the devil, just, like, stands there and waits for his father to come in and just, like, drops a hairdryer in there, which kills her. Power switches go. And they run out, and the old woman, like, when they killed her earlier, they run back in her shed, and all the Satanists are chasing them because they need to free the devil from the boy's body. And then he starts, like, floating, but not like how in The Exorcist they, like, really played off the whole possessed by the devil thing, or The Omen really played off it with the devil with, like, heads rotating around, and your mother sucks cocks in hell. No, the kid's just, like, floating upward, just like, I think he looks at the camera and says, "I'll be good, Daddy." And then the Satanists break in, and the father, like, has a machete and cuts the one woman's stomach open. They're like, "You wouldn't kill your son." He's like, "He's not my son anymore." It's like, fucking stabs him. So then it shows the police pull up, and it shows like all this shit that's falling as the devil's taking over, but then as the kid falls down, the devil stops. And the camera pans around, and like all this stuff that fell or was like shooken off the wall is like back up perfectly, like nothing happened, and you don't see anybody else in the room except for the father and the son. So at this point, once again, I'm thinking, like, was this all in the dude's head? Like, did he all make this up? Is this another twist to the movie? Because the police officer still hasn't showed up after all the screaming. And the time that it takes the father to carry his dead son from the neighbor woman's shed through the yard into the house, lay him on the floor face down, and then to go upstairs, pull his wife's dead electrocuted body out of the bathtub, carry her downstairs, lay her face down. He can kneel between them, put his hands on their back, and it had that thing where, like, in horror movies, they always, like, smear the blood on the face, but for some reason, no blood ever gets within an inch and a half of the eye. You always have that perfect circle. So he's got that face paint going on, and he's just, like, pressing on their backs as the cop walks in. He was able to do all that in the time that it took the cop to get from the driveway to the front door. So then, cop handcuffs him and they leave, and then it shows a hand, like the woman's laying there, and this like little baby hand like pushes up from the inside of her stomach. Like, I guess the electrocution from the hairdryer in the bathtub didn't kill her or whatever. But if you pause it, you'll notice that the baby hand pushed on her stomach has 6 fingers, which I don't know if that was a fuck up, or if there's going to be a mutant baby, or is that like some deep like this huge metaphor, or not metaphor, but like a deep symbol for how this kid's going to be born with 6 fingers on one hand, and how 11's the one number that the humans can't count on their own hands because we only have 10. This is the devil somehow mocking God by giving his son a 6th finger. Like, is that the next evolution of man in the devil's eyes? I don't know. Anyway, I know I just kind of made this movie sound really dumb talking about it, but not something I'd go out of my way to watch again, something I would use to kill some time. This is 11/11/11, and this one is it's by director Keith Allen. So if you're looking for this one specifically, 87 minutes by director Keith Allen. Don't confuse it with 11-11-11, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. That one I've heard I've heard good and I've heard bad about that one. As soon as I watch that one, I'll make sure to do a separate review on that one, dashes over slashes. Alright, like I say at the end of every video, leave some comments below, make fun of me, whatever. Tell me if there's anything that you want me to look into, review, you want to hear me ramble on about, just so we can create a little online feud. You might love it, I might hate it, we can start doing response videos to each other. It'd be a good time, great time for everyone. Making friends for life, buddy.